Hello everybody and welcome to Market to Access webinar. Today we are going to bring you into a nice journey to understand the market and how you can sell your product. Before going through the different topics, I'm presenting myself and nice to meet you. I'm Marco Morandini and I work for TUI Musement as business development. At the very same time, I'm also advising TUI Foundation on market access strategy. So we are trying to build and develop a strategy to enable beneficiaries of TUI Foundation programs to access the market related to tour and activities. Today, we are going to talk about four main topics. The first one is access to market and industry overview. The second one, Rob, it will present getting on board with OTAs. And the third, again, Rob will present about the onboarding on TUI Musement. At the end, we're going to talk about mega trends for the future, taking into consideration also COVID pandemic. And we are talking about what markets are looking for in terms of offer and customers. So let's start with the first webinar, Access to Market, the Industry Overview. What does it mean, access to market? Access to market actually refers to the capacity of a company to tap into local, national, or regional markets, opportunities, and it's super important for the development and growth of social, small, and medium enterprises. So it means enable companies to access the customers in different ways, via different channels. That's what we are going to talk about. And why in the first webinar are we going to talk about industry overview? Because know your market is one of the main key of success. It's very important to understand who is your customer, how you are going to sell your product, what product you are selling, so understand the verticals and sub-verticals of your product. And then it's very important to understand the different players into the market in terms of competition, but also in terms of enablers for your company, like channel manager, reservation systems, or different ways to produce your tour. The key message then is that it's important for you to know very well your market. Without knowing your market, you will not be able to move into the market and get opportunities. Talking about travel sector, it's possible to divide it into 5 different segments. Going from the biggest one to the smallest one, we do have airlines that is counting more or less 40% of the travel sector. We have hotels, it's counting 33% of the travel sector. Then we have activities. Activities is a very broad and diverse segment. It's ranging from walking tours to transfers, and it's counting 10% of the overall travel sector. And then we have other two small segment, rail, 80%, and other. Within other, we have, for example, car rental. Today, we are going to talk about activities and what the segment of activities, what are the sub-verticals, who are the customers, and how you are going to sell product into this vertical. It's very important also to know that activities is one of the youngest segments in terms of online exposition, and airlines, hotels are already consolidated segment for the online, while on the other hand, activities, it's quite new. So we are seeing here, since 4-5 years, a very, very rapid growth in terms of selling online. So there are many opportunities. Those data are based on a data source of one of the most important think tanks for the activities and tours, and the name is Focusrite. And I suggest you to deep dive into this website and into this think tank to better understand the market that you are working. Some very, very simple facts on this segment. The global market size is 245 billion, estimated by Arrival, another very important think tank in this segment. And it's a data related to 2019. Of course, in 2020, we had the COVID pandemic, And another forecast made by Arrival, it would be that the industry will not return pre-COVID levels until 2033. It means that it will be a very slow growth before going back to the very same level of 2019. But again, the segment is changing, and there might be opportunities to adapt your offer to the newer standards in terms of hygiene and safetiness of COVID pandemic. Third fact, super important, sales are mainly offline. More or less 20% of the sales are coming from online channels, and we are seeing a very rapid growth on the channels, but still 80% are offline. It means that it will be very important for you to be on the online channels because it will be the channels of the futures, but at the very same time, channels of the present are offline. So it's very important to be omni-channel and be everywhere with your products. So not to sell just online. The other very important facts around tour and activity segment is that we have a very variety of product, from walking tours to transfer to tickets. So it's very important for you to understand what you are selling and to define the category. Defining the category and the sub-vertical will allow you also to target the best channels for you to sell your product. Without knowing your category, it will be even very difficult to explain to potential customer or even account managers of OTAs or other incoming tour operator what your product and what your unique selling point that is super relevant for the customer and generating revenues. Very quick takeaway, it's a very promising segment, 245 billion, it will be back in 2023, and the sales are still offline, but we are seeing a very rapid growth over the years on the online. Going on the segmentation of what you are selling as a beneficiaries, we already say that we have a very huge variety of products. And in this slide, it's possible to understand some segmentation we have within TUI Musement. We have 5 different categories. The first one is excursion and day trips. Are you selling, for example, sightseeing and traditions, or are you selling both excursions? Then it will fall into excursion and day trips. Second category, it's, for example, up-on, up-off, classes and workshop, and food and drink. And those are activities. So if you are selling food and drink tours, then it will be an activity. The third big block is tickets and event, and it's related to every ticket that allows you to enter into a venue, like Colosseum tickets or Burj Khalifa tickets, or even destination passes, so tickets that you are buying and you can access different venues. Fourth category, extras, like rent-a-car, childcare, or airport service. And we even have within this category the transport, so shared transfers, or even private transfer that you are, for example, booking to go from the airport to the hotel. As you can see, we are ranging from excursion to transfers, from walking tours to food and drink to cooking classes. And in terms of suppliers and in terms of beneficiaries, it will be very important for you to understand what you are selling. Who are the customers of tour and activities? This is a super important question for you that you need to answer as soon as possible and even understand and study different analyses of different players. Today I'm presenting you the Tour Scanner Tours and Travel Activities Report for 2019, and I'm presenting you just 2 very simple parameters. The first one is the age of users that are traveling and booking tour and activities. And here we can see that they are mainly millennials, and the age is between 25 to 44 years old. We even have the other clusters of age, but 25 to 34, 44 is the main main customer. So whenever you are crafting your tours, defining your product or understanding which is the best channel, be aware of who is your customer and the different demographic characteristics. The interest in tours is slightly higher among females, and this analysis is based on 1 million bookings made on Tour Scanner, so it's real data regarding 2019. And another very important statement of this report is the mobile-first approach. So customers are booking mainly mobile and very, very last minute. It means that, for example, it has a huge impact on your online selling channels. For example, your website. Your website must be very user-friendly if you are using it like with mobile devices. Who is your customer is the key question. And it will be even the key question whenever you are going to pitch your offer to any channels like OTAs, because they have in mind what are their customers and what they want to supply and source from third-party suppliers and resell it based on the demand. Looking, for example, to musement, one of the channels of the TUI musement organization, passed in 2018, we made a market research on real data, and even we made surveys about the customer personas. Who are the customer personas? Customer personas is the archetypal representation of a precise segment of customers. And within musement research, we identified 4 different customer personas. 2 are low-hanging fruits. It means that where our current market and mostly easily accessed. So Paul and Mario and Fernanda, culture vulture and social wanderer. Whenever we were looking to supply tours, we had in mind those 2 customer personas. The future, so future growth, market that we wanted to grow in 2018 were Mary and John, happy family. So we were looking for example, tours for families. And the last one, Claire and Maxime, more adventure. So we were looking for maybe active tours, sport, and walking tours. So the amusement OTA had in mind the different customer personas, so the archetypal of the customers, the clusters of the customers. And we are sourcing tour and activities based also on our marketing research. In terms of beneficiaries, then, it will be very important for you to understand and pitch to any account manager or to any incoming tour operator or to any agency who is your customers, and also even defining offer based on the customers of the channel. How we are going to sell this offer? The offer can be sold via different channels, and the study and the analysis of the different channels is called channel segmentations. Within the tour and activities market, we have two main categories. The first one is offline, that is the most relevant right now, and the other one is online, where we are seeing very rapid growth in the future. Within the offline, for example, we have both B2C and B2B channels. When I refer to B2C, I mean that the business is selling directly to the customers, like point of sales. For example, you are selling your product to any shop that you might have within your destination. The second example might be direct sales, so telephone. That might be B2C because a customer can call you and book it, or even B2B because maybe you have a network of incoming tour operators and they're booking you via phone or in other direct way. The third category is incoming tour operators, and this is mainly and only B2B business. In this specific case, you are selling a component to an incoming tour operator, and the incoming tour operator is taking your component, creating a package, and sell it to the customers. All these three channels are part of the offline way of selling. On the other hand, we have the online way of selling that is growing very, very fast. The first one is your own website. So you are selling your activity via your website. You might have an e-commerce to sell tours and activities. The customer is going to your website and is booking it. How he can find your website? With campaigns like Google campaigns or even social media. You can understand that in this specific case you need to invest in marketing, like marketing campaigns. And on the other hand, we have another channel that is the online travel agency. And in this specific case is a business to consumer. It means that you are selling to the customer, direct customer, via another business, the online travel agency. The difference between the online travel agency and your own website is that you are going to make a revenue share, and you don't pay to go within the online travel agency, and they are taking a percentage on your sales. As you can understand, you are not investing money in marketing because this is the core business of the online travel agency. They are good in making marketing campaigns, they have a huge network, and they are selling for you. Key takeaway, tour and activities market has different channels, offline and online, and might be B2C or B2B or even business to consumer. Let's go to see how the channel segmentation looks like for TUI Musement. We are working mainly as an OTA and as an incoming tour operators in different destinations. TUI Musement, as the general industry segmentation, has offline and online channels. Regarding the offline, we have retail. As you know, we have a network of travel agency in UK, Germany, and in other markets. And we are selling B2C. So the agent within the agency is selling our tours to the customer. The second one is reps. Who are reps? Reps are representative of the TUI group that are in destinations, and they are going around the destination, visiting hotels, and supporting the customers directly to sell tours. And this is mainly a B2C business. The third one is incoming tour operator. As previously mentioned, we have DMCs around the world that are sourcing components like a guide, a ticket, a transfer, package, and sell it to the customer. On the online side, we have three main channels. The first one is our website, musement.com, GoToWe, and all the other point of contact online. We are even developing a very strong strategic partnership with players in the market, travel players in the market, for example, Booking.com. Booking.com is one of the most important strategic partnerships for TUI Musement. And the third one is mobile app. So the customer of the TUI group can download an app from the app stores and they can buy the tours directly from the app. TUI Musement is then ranging from all those channels, and the very nice thing is you can enter this OTA and you can sell across all these channels. You might even go on Get Your Guide, you can go on TripAdvisor, on other OTAs. So it's super relevant for you as beneficiaries to increase your channels, trying to have the very same offer to have smoother operations. 3 tips from this webinar. The first one, know as much as possible about your market. It's very important to understand where you are, who is the customer, who are the competitors, how you can sell your product. Without knowing all the different elements, will be harder to sell with your product and generating values. Second important tips, know very well what you are selling and the potential distribution channels. And the third one is be omnichannel. Be ready to sell on all the relevant channels for your destination, even if they are offline and they are not so sexy. Be there because they are going to buy even from offline channels. And it's very important to be on different channels to increase the brand awareness of your company. What's next? In the next webinar, Rob will talk about the onboarding process with the OTAs. OTAs is one of the different channels that we were showing you today, and it will be a very deep focus on how to get on board in the smoother way, and also explain you a little bit the behind the scene. Thank you very much, and I'm waiting for you in the next webinar.